Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show, and I have my earplugs plugged in, but I can use this as a microphone. So I tested for the video and it worked. So I'm gonna use this because I don't want to unplug my headphones. Let's get into free agency. I want to discuss day one. This is pretty much day one because it's now past 12 a.m. So basically, this is day one free agency recap. This is all the signings. I included one more with the Tyrese Halliburton extension that I'll talk about at the end. But let's get into day one here, because there's a lot of players, and I have a lot to say about some of these players, and some not so much. But the first player I'm talking about here is Mr. Draymond Green signing a 4-year, $100 million extension with the Golden State Warriors. There's not a lot of people saying this was an overpay, which I completely get because he's like 30-something. But it makes sense because this is Draymond Green's last paycheck he's going to get. And obviously he was going to get this money because Jordan Poole got traded. They basically decided between Draymond and Jordan Poole. I'd rather keep Draymond, even though Jordan Poole is a younger player. But I felt Draymond's more impactful for us. But Jordan Poole's still good. He's like a 20-point scorer. But Draymond signed the 4 years, $100 million, which they had to keep the core together. If they didn't keep Draymond, Curry was probably gonna be mad. But he sure got the bag. It's with a player option in the final season as well. So they're keeping the old band together, basically sticking with the formula, which was expected. They got another 3-4 years left in the tank, I feel. I feel like people are giving up on them too quick. I feel like they're going back to the old formula now. Now you just need some depth, some veterans, and some size. I feel like they're going to get Dario Saric, hopefully, because I think that would be a good signing. He can stretch the floor, rebound, shoot. Really good that corner three. And they're going back kind of to that old formula the Warriors were used to. But I feel like it's good for Draymond. Probably the best news all day. So I really like this signing. I know it's a lot of money, but they had to sign him back. You can't just let Draymond go. Next, the Cavaliers. They signed back Caris LeVert to a 2-year, $32 million contract extension. I mean, I think he's a good player. It's just he seems to get hurt a lot. Like, he's good when he plays. It's just he's sometimes hurt a lot. And I kind of think it's a little bit of an overpay. 2 years, $32 million over Caris LeVert. It's kind of a lot of money. At least, in my opinion. Next, the Kings re-signed Trey Lyles. I didn't know what the contract details were. I literally just wrote these down as they were happening. But they re-signed Trey Lyles. He was pretty decent for him in the playoffs. That's the only thing I know about him. The Lakers signed Taurean Prince to a 1-year, $4.5 million contract extension. I think this is a good deal for the Los Angeles Lakers. Taurean Prince had a pretty decent season last year. Pretty solid 3-point shooter, good defender. I'm pretty sure it's what the Lakers were looking for. And they got a pretty decent player. The Suns, then they signed Drew Eubanks. They signed a whole bunch of nothing in this free agency for their bench, except for Yuta Watanabe. Other than that, they signed a whole bunch of nothing for their bench. Drew Eubanks got a 2-year deal. He's not that good. He's a terrible defender, terrible rebounder. The Suns' bench is going to be awful next season. The Wizards, they re-signed Kyle Kuzma to a 4-year, $102 million contract extension. I feel like they could still trade him maybe sometime next year. But a 4-year, $102 million deal, I think Kuzma deserves it. I think this is a good deal. He's been playing a lot better for the Wizards. His last season was good, averaged 21-7. And while shooting splits wasn't the best, he was still really good for the Wizards. The Nuggets, they re-signed DeAndre Jordan. Well, NBA champion DeAndre Jordan. Huge signing right there. The Suns re-signed Josh Okogie. Really good defender. Besides Yuta Watanabe and Josh Okogie, the Suns really signed a whole bunch of nothing. The Bulls re-signed Kobe White to a 3-year, $40 million contract extension. Something special. I think it's a good deal for Kobe White. Next, we have the Suns signing Keita Bates-Diop to a 2-year, $5 million deal. You have Julian Champagne, or whatever the fuck his name is for the Spurs, that rookie or whatever. Basically took over Diop's spot the last few games, averaged like 20 points per game the final 5 games of the season. Now he's a free agent, went to the Suns, 2 years, $5 million. He's a decent player, I guess. The Suns have literally signed a whole bunch of nothing besides Yuta Watanabe and re-signing Josh Cody. They've done nothing. Suns also re-signed Damian Lee to a 2-year deal with a player option. Just kind of mid. But the Suns signed who? Keita Bates-Diop. Who? The Pacers signed Bruce Brown to a 2-year, $45 million deal, $23 million per year. I was like, I saw that report earlier in my news video I covered. I'm like, is he really gonna get 20+ mil? And he did. He got the bag. I mean, he's a solid player. Don't get me wrong. But he averaged 11-4 last year. Is that worth paying $45 million for 2 years, $45 million, which is $23 million guaranteed? Is that really worth it? It's not to me. And then we get another massive overpay here. Blazers re-signed Jeremy Grant, 5 years, $160 million. It's a big overpay in my opinion. I think Jeremy Grant's a good player. He's 3 improved last year, but he's not worth $160 million in my opinion. He's a solid player, but he's not worth that much money. T-Wolves signed Troy Brown Jr. The Nuggets re-signed Reggie Jackson to 2 years, $10 million. I guess since they lost Bruce Brown, they're going to play Reggie Jackson a bit more, 2 years, $10 million. But Reggie Jackson not really that good. He's kind of trash, to be honest. He barely played in the playoffs. The Bulls signed Javon Carter. Who? Yeah, who? 3 years, $20 million. I mean, decent player, I guess. Suns signed Chimezie Metu. Who? 1 year deal. Trash. The Celtics re-signed Kristaps Porzingis, 2 years, $60 million. That's still right there. The Cavaliers signed George Niang, 3 years, $26 million. Who? Yeah, exactly. The Mavericks re-signed Kyrie. It's kind of a bit. I mean, he took less years probably, so he wouldn't have to be there longer. But I just don't think anybody was willing to pay him that much. So I think he was just stuck with staying with the Mavericks, in my opinion. Raptors re-signed Jakob Poeltl. Look, I think he's a good player, but 4 years, $80 million. Like, what the fuck are the Raptors doing? Okay, I get re-signing Gary Trent because he's a young player, but why wouldn't you blow it up? Because this current core's not going to win anything if you're the Raptors. They're not going to win nothing. They're a playing team at best. The next one, Chris Middleton, 3 years, $102 million deal. I think it's a good contract if he can stay healthy and not get injured. Cam Johnson, 4 years, $108 million. He's a good defender, can shoot 3, but I don't know if he's worth 4 years, $108 million. He's a good player, but that's kind of a bit of money there. Trey Jones, 2 years, at $20 million for the Spurs. I think it's a good deal to where they have Victor Wembanyama. Can have that point guard center duo. The Magic were expected to reach an agreement with Joe Ingles, which they did, was 2 years, $22 million. It's basically 1 year, 11. It's basically like 1 year, $11 million, basically. It's kind of a lot though, because he's kind of old. Lakers signed Gabe Vincent, 3 years, $33 million. So they're basically let go of Austin Reeves, as they re-signed Rui Hachimura as well. It's kind of risky though. I don't think Gabe Vincent's that good. I would rather keep Austin Reeves if I'm a Lakers fan. Shake Milton, 2 years, $10 million to the Wolves. Suns signed Yuta Watanabe, 44% three-point shooter, former teammate of Kevin Durant's. I don't know how much years or money it was, but they signed him. Pelicans signed Herb Jones to a 4-year, $54 million deal. All defensive team, Herb Jones, here you come. Josh Richardson, a 2-year deal. The Heat signed him, basically gave Vince a replacement. The Lakers re-signed Rui Hachimura, 3 years, $51 million. I think it's a lot of money, though, for Rui Hachimura. I would have rather kept Austin Reeves, if I'm a Lakers fan. The Lakers then signed Cam Reddish. I don't think Cam Reddish is all that good, to be honest. Like, the Lakers did a few good things. I mean, Rui Hachimura is good. I probably would have re-signed him, but $51 million, though. I would have brought back Austin Reeves. I don't like bringing in Gabe Vincent. I don't think he's that good. Just being honest. It's my opinion. But whatever. We understand the first page here. So let's get to the second page. So we got a few more signings here. The Rockets signed Fred VanVleet to a 3-year, $130 million deal, which is probably the funniest signing of the night. $43 million per year for Kyle Lowry, or for Fred VanVleet. That is just disgusting. How in the world did he finesse $43 million per year? And I don't care if it's 3 years. You don't do that if you're the Houston Rockets. You get... Why would you even sign Fred VanVleet? It doesn't make sense. You already have Kevin Porter, Jalen Green. It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. He has the best agent of all time. The Spurs re-signed Julian Champagne to a 4-year, $12 million deal. He averaged 20 and 6 towards the final few games last year, so pretty good re-signing there by the Spurs. Again, a young talent locked down for the next 4 years. The Heat re-signed Kevin Love to a 2-year deal. Raptors signed Dennis Schroeder to a 2-year, $26 million deal. They literally replaced trash with garbage. O'Shea Brissett, 2-year deal with the Celtics. Mavericks signed Seth Curry for a 2-year deal. I didn't know he was a free agent, but good for them. 3-point shooter, good scoring off the bench. The Grizzlies signed Derrick Rose to a multi-year agreement, which was 2 years, $6.5 million. We all basically know this signing was to get John Morant right in the head, or to mentor John Morant. The Raptors re-signed Gary Trent Jr., which is a good move. 24 years old, good young player. We had 2 trades. The Heat traded Victor Oladipo to the Thunder, which for probably draft compensation and cash, I assume. And the Wizards trade Monte Morris to the Pistons for a 2nd-round pick, so the Wizards get another 2nd-round pick. And the Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton, our final extension I'm going to talk about in this day 1 free agency, is the Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton agreed to a 5-year contract for $260 million. I know people say, oh, that's a lot of money, but he's an all-star guard, averaged a double-double last season. I think it's well-deserved. I know people say it's not, oh, that's too much money, but you pay your all-star guard. Averaged a double-double last year, well-deserved. Being that's all for free agency, day 1. So until next time, have a lot. Peace.